Good evening, and we are live from the Moonshine Deck Ice House in Magnolia, Texas. Welcome to the Homeowners Show. My name is Kevin Hackett, and with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We're so glad you could join us. We're not in the studio.
We are not in the studio.
Or Kansas.
No. What is up with that music? Is it just my ears, or does it sound like that all the time?
I think I had it turned up because it's so loud because, like, as I was just mentioning, there's no chance that this episode is going to be monetized because we have our own theme track going on in the background. Here at Moonshine. We even got some pickleballers.
That's right.
Hanging out over there.
They're better than me.
We're going to root. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the people that are in the purple.
The purple?
Yeah.
All right.
I like the purple over there.
I mean, not to be like that guy, but I'll go with the white team.
Okay. All right.
But
white.
You really didn't leave me with many options. The other team doesn't even have congruent uniforms going on. So.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They're not here because they care.
They didn't show up to play.
No, they didn't.
So, listen, we're so glad you guys could join us live on the stream, or if you're watching this later on, but we want to go ahead and thank our sponsors. First up, Lone Star Appliance Repair. We're so thankful for this company for sponsoring this episode and all of our episodes. They've been with us the longest now. It's a great company. Listen, you come to us to find out which appliance to buy.
Yes.
And when and if we give you bad advice, the company that you call to get it fixed is Lone Star Appliance Repair.
That's the one.
Because it's way cheaper to get your appliances fixed than it is to replace them, and they do a great job. They have a great team that comes out and fixes all your appliance needs, even those in the sink.
Well, here's what's funny. I literally just talked to the lady that will answer your phone or reply to your text.
No, Darlene and I have a long-running feud.
Yeah, she just said...
She's on Team Kevin.
She's on Team Kevin 100%. Literally, she said, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time, and a kitchen sink is still not an appliance. That's how she started that conversation. Yep. So,
I'm glad that you guys have each other to be wrong with.
No, we're definitely not wrong. Listen, if you need your appliance repaired, you need to give them a call. It's 936-647-2364, 936-647-2364, and you will not be sorry.
Yep, and our other sponsor actually just left.
Yes, he did. He did. Like, we could have said hi to him, but he's gone.
Yeah, he had to go home and have dinner.
That's right,
because he's a family man.
Yeah, even though
the CEO is a family man.
We can't speak behind me here.
Yeah. We can't speak for the rest of the company, but he's a family man.
That's right.
So we got True Texas Solar sponsoring this episode, guys. Listen, if you have been curious about getting solar for your home, you want to have a company that's going to be honest and reliable and truthful about your power needs and what is going to work for your home and whether or not it could even work for your home. They're going to tell you if it will work for your home. They're not afraid to tell you, like, hey, this isn't going to work. It's not a good option for you.
Dude, he was telling me just now about a system that they just got through installing that was $130K, but they've got like 3 different battery backup systems. They've got like they've got generator, they've got wind turbines, they've got all these things hooked up, plus the solar. I mean, if you need a small system, they can take care of you. If you need a big system, they can take care of you. That's all residential. Then they've got the commercial side of things as well.
Commercial stuff's going nuts right now.
It is. It really, really is. And then, I mean, our church just put solar on the church, so like it's a big, big deal for commercial. And then on top of that, they've got a whole roofing team as well. So if you have roof needs, and let me tell you, because of the storms we've had, y'all.
Dude, the hail we just had this week.
I know. Yeah, it's been really bad. So I mean, if you've got roofing needs, if you're like, look, I've been losing power during these storms that have come, and you want to figure out a solution, they can take care of you. So give them a call. Their number is 936-286-8325. That's 936-286-8325. And their team, incredible team, they will take care of you.
Yeah. So, and I like, this is not a news show or a political show, but like I was on the way here, it's worth mentioning, Trump was just convicted on all 34 counts.
Shocker.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The whole thing is insane. Every bit of it's insane. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know, but like just the whole situation is nuts.
It is.
And I'm loving it. I think we should actually start a whole other show just because of how nuts it is. It's worth talking about.
It is.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it later on tonight, but we got a guest sitting down with us.
That's right.
And I got to be honest, I met you, and I'm terrified of your name already.
Oh, I know it. I know it. It's Salida.
Salida?
It's Salida, like
Yes.
the town in Colorado. I won't forget. I've been
Like
there.
Salida, Colorado.
Salida.
it.
Yes.
Is that actually where it came from?
No.
Your name? Where does that actually come from?
I actually don't know because my dad usually, by the time we were born, we had names.
Okay.
My mom had no say. I just know the first 3 letters. Sol is sun, so he says I'm his ray of sunshine.
There you go. Okay.
I'll
you
take
go.
that.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
I'll take that. So yes, not sure, but
All right.
Cool.
I found out about Salida, Colorado from a client myself.
Oh.
I was like, oh, did you know there was Salida, Colorado? I was like,
There
okay,
you go.
great.
Well, listen, we want to learn a little bit about more about who you are and what you do.
Okay.
Tell us what you do. I know you've got a couple of businesses. Talk to us about that.
So yes, so we started. First of all, we've been doing catering for since 2008.
Okay.
We started as a catering business, unofficially no name. In 2018, we took on our Porky's Belly Barbecue in Montgomery, Texas.
Nice.
On 2854 in Honey, Egypt. So
That is a really cool building.
Did you like it?
Because,
Yeah.
well,
I want the
can
garage doors.
You want
Yeah.
the garage?
I do.
Can you explain to us, just because this is the homeowner show, explain to us what y'all did? Because there was a rundown shack of a place that had some really cool, like, old barnwood type stuff in it and around it, and y'all basically built a building around that, didn't you?
So yes, have you been in there?
I have.
Recently. So
Yeah.
you guys.
I've eaten there
so
once.
the house. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for supporting our business. So if you pass by, like you said, you're right. It used to be a house. It was a 2-bedroom house. We actually have a picture of the lady who built it, and that
Oh,
soon
wow.
will be posted on our building as well.
Cool.
On the inside, but 2-bedroom house that when we would pass by there, I know there was like trucks, food trucks and stuff.
Right.
I never stopped. It never tempted me. Not that I'm against them, because by all means, right?
Yeah.
But it just didn't. So when we bought the place, it was like, my husband was like, I would think we need to do something different with it, because it's just not going to appetize people with what our vision was, right?
Yeah.
And to back up that story real quick, my husband was an engineer and I'm a nurse at trade, and so we decided, but to me, customer service is customer service no matter where,
Yeah.
right? And so when we decided to take on this challenge, we said we have to do something different with this building, but we didn't want to tear down the house.
Yeah.
So it was like, he was like, his engineer, and it's like, I need something that'll come over. And everybody's like, wait, how are we going to do this? And I'm like, no, leave the house. So the house became our office space, kitchen, refrigerator, the whole works. We have that extra wooded area. That's where the cooked food remains. So we have a really nice setup where we have raw area, cooked area, and then when you go and eat there, we wanted to build an outside space, kind of, same scenario we're in right now.
Yeah.
It was COVID brain in the thought of it too, because we wanted to make sure it was an outside setting as well, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure. So open door garage setting, we're like, leave it open. Well, then the house was like, what? Everybody's like, tear it down. Like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, no, that's money wasted. No. And second of all, it just became an aesthetic thing, because people will be like, oh my God, there's a whole house in here.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's cool.
So it's really neat just to see how it turned out to be. A lot of work was done by my husband and his father.
Yeah.
A lot of family kicked in to do a lot of it, but things that just couldn't. There's a lot of definitely out there people that I can thank for being part of it. And so we've been there a year now.
Okay.
February 4th was a year.
All right, so
we
I
are
got
very
two
excited.
big questions for you.
Yes.
Your favorite dish on the menu?
I'm going to tell you it's going to be our Texas brisket, which is
Okay.
a prime salt pepper brisket.
Okay.
Go try that.
All right, I'm in. And then number 2, because I'm very envious of them, and I think it's something a lot of people want, those glass garage doors on the front. How much did those run you guys? What should people? Because I know people see those a lot and they want them. How much did they run you guys? If you don't mind getting in the ballpark.
I'm gonna say ballpark.
Because they're huge.
I know. I want to. Oh, you're gonna throw me out there, but I'm gonna say 70, maybe
70,000
thousand.
for each door?
No.
For all of them?
Yeah.
How many doors do you guys have there?
4.
4 of them? Mm-hmm.
3 in the front, 1 on the side.
20 grand a piece, roughly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and
Like
don't quote me on that one.
17,
but
50
yeah,
a piece. Yeah.
But that's
But
probably, surely that's installed.
It's a what?
Installed.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So-
like, not cheap,
Not cheap,
but they're gorgeous.
And-
But
and-
thank you.
Yeah.
And basically, it takes an indoor space and makes it an outdoor space with the
Yes.
size of those things.
Yeah.
It's what you see on a lot of the barn dominiums now.
Yes. Even a
these-
home, a regular home. Yeah.
I like them. I've seen them where they're like a kitchen window, like it's like for like a service counter
so
to
you
the
can
outside.
open it so that you can be open
Awesome.
to the out. Yes,
I love it.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
super cool.
100%.
So and then
yeah.
so we have a limited amount of time. Love hearing about the restaurant, but you also do insurance.
I do. And so real quick on that, it's I opened a.
So you were in
business
nursing and you were seeing what was happening, and you're like, oh, everybody's
Absolutely.
dying, so we need to.
Oh my gosh. I hate to say that, but people don't like to talk about that, but we do have to be prepared. So
Yes.
yes, life insurance is a thing. 91% of the people do not understand and know what's out there for us. It's called compounded interest, which is what, a lot of the big corporations, banks, and everybody makes money off of. And so unfortunately, the beautiful thing is that we can do that as well through life insurance and make ourselves earn that interest.
Yeah.
So with living benefits, chronic, critical, terminal, we can have, it's called also, we have term, whole, mortgage, life insurance. We have, some of the final expenses type insurances that we have that also have concierge, services that can provide living benefits. And some of this can be as little as less than $100.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people are scared of it, but there's nothing to be. And it's, free to give us a call and let me know to run some numbers for you, educate you, because I think at the end of the day, all I am doing is educating everybody, doing some
Right.
financial literacy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything for me to talk to you for 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, life insurance is one of those deals that, like, I'm surprised at how many people don't have it.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's for
really sad.
as affordable as it is. It's crazy that more people don't have it, especially just simple term insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
just term.
It's available.
Just FYI, GoFundMe's. I mean, people do GoFundMe's or selling plates or things like that, but just a GoFundMe, they charge 30 to 40%.
Yes.
They take the money away. So just so you
Oh,
know
wow.
that, money versus putting, I kid you not, I gave a quote today, $27 for $50,000.
27 bucks a month.
$27 a month
Wow.
for whole life. I
Yeah.
mean, how do you
For
beat
whole
that?
life.
Yeah,
That's
how do
for
you
whole.
beat that?
Yeah.
Obviously there's things of
When-
age and there's all that stuff,
So
but
when would that mature?
99,
90?
100.
100.
100.
Wow.
So I mean,
You got a good long while.
exactly. So you got a good, chance that you will get it for sure, that you'll benefit from it,
Yeah.
or your family, or as like you said, indexed life insurance, for children. I quoted a child today $100. He would have at $250,000 a child and at 5 years of age, $100 a month, and he would have $500,000.
Right.
Easy by like 35, and actually he can have like 20,000 for college at 18.
Yeah, and like it sucks to be morbid about these kinds of things, but like I was fortunate enough that my parents started life insurance whole policies for me when I was like 15, 16 years old. And like simple policies that when I turned 65 would mature at like $350,000.
Right.
But like when we started having kids, my wife was like, listen, one of my biggest fears in this world is that one of our kids would die, before they were 18. And so, like, we're going to take out 2 life insurance policies on each one of these kids. We're going to take out a term policy, and we're going to take out a whole life policy. The whole life policy is for them, for when they're older.
Highly recommend
The term
those.
policy is for if something were to ever happen to them, like, I am not going to be a functional human being for, like, a year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, we're going to need something to live off of because I ain't working.
And
Yeah.
these final expenses pay within 48 hours. So
Yeah.
just so you know, the final one, it pays within 48 hours because the life insurance can take anywhere between 60 to 90 days because they have to investigate and, do their process.
Yeah.
So it can take that long. But, when you need it, cash money fast, because I hate to say it, I did have somebody, we just, an example, we did a policy for a father and we told him, what about your kids? He said, hold on. Approved on Monday, and this is 2 weeks. He's burying them today.
Oh my God.
2 weeks ago. Approved on Monday of that week. 2 weeks ago, his son died on Friday
Oh, my goodness.
of a car accident. So I mean, And
you just never know.
These are just things that we speak of so that people know, make awareness. That's all it is. And like I said, you're right. People don't like to talk about that because that's not something. It's not a common thing. We don't want to bury our kids. Are you kidding me? No, we don't. But it's the reality. We're in line. We just don't know when we're next.
Yeah,
That's it.
Well, so we got another guest coming up. Could let everybody know how to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So my company is Family Advising Legacy, and it is 281-703-3185. Again, 281-703-3185. Give me a call. I'll be happy to help you.
And the restaurant, his website?
And the restaurant is Porky's Belly BBQ.
Awesome.
And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and come out and visit us on 2854 and Pony Age Up.
Great location.
Great.
I love the logo, by the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for sitting down with us. So good to meet you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a good night.
You too.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
You got all your life insurance squared away there?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
I was asking
we
since
do.
she's sitting right next to you.
No, thankfully we do. I can always use more. Because you just never know.
Your wife was asking me, she was like, should I get more? And I was like,
It depends on what your plans are.
That's right.
Bring it back on her. All right, come on, grab a seat.
What's going
How's
on,
it
Rudy?
going?
Say?
Everybody at 15 or keep it at
10 is fine. Yeah. You got those. That way you can hear, bud.
Yeah.
So, how you been, man?
And I've been good. How you been?
Been cleaning stuff up?
Yeah, as much as I want to.
Yeah? Well, for people that hadn't met you before, let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Rudy Kalunga, and I own RC Pressure Washing. I'm out of Spring, Texas, but kind of handle everything from North Houston to Willis,
Yeah.
Humble to Cypress.
Oh, it's a pretty big area.
For residential, for commercial, bring it on. Right?
Okay.
I've done jobs in Dallas, Galveston, San Antonio, and Lafayette.
Okay. So willing to travel.
Willing to travel. Yeah.
I'm going to pick that up before you just a
Sure.
little bit. You're
Dude,
taller than our last
So
guest.
has any of the storm stuff like brought you in to clean stuff up like that, or is that not something that drives your business?
No, not at all.
No?
I
didn't know with like the flooding and different things like that.
Some people have mentioned it, but I feel like it's more of a luxury service sometimes.
Okay.
Priority is going to be your home. Priority is going to be your fences and roofs and things like that. So I don't even really try to advertise at those times because I feel like it's not a necessary thing.
Sure.
Right? If people need it, they're going to call me.
Yeah.
After storm cleanup. So there might be a bunch of mulch or something that gets run off. But again, are they going to call me for that? No. Right?
Yeah. So what is the thing that you observe that most people don't realize that can be cleaned or pressure washed? Is it like roofs? Is it fences? Because I think what most people think of is like driveways.
Most people think driveways.
And maybe like washing the house or something like that.
Right. So
Are
decks.
things that you do.
Yeah.
Pool decks, okay.
Pool decks is another thing. They see it, they walk by it all the time, but they don't realize it can be soft washed. It can be brought back to life, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for just a second.
I was gonna
talk
say.
about the difference between soft washing and pressure washing.
All right. Well, basically, anything that's not concrete gets soft washed,
Okay.
right?
Does that include like metal?
Metal,
like a
roof,
metal building?
metal awnings.
Like a metal
yeah,
roof,
metal
metal
buildings.
building?
That would be soft washed as well,
Okay.
right? You're going to spray a chemical compound mixture that kills algae and mold and prevents stuff from growing,
Okay.
but also breaks the adhesion with dirt and spider webs and anything like that can be rinsed off and cleaned. And then you rinse off at a high volume but low pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're using the same equipment. You're just
Correct.
adjusting
the pressure.
Yeah.
Adjusting the pressure, and you don't adjust the pressure by actually changing the pressure. You actually change the pressure by swapping out the tips.
Okay.
On the wand. The larger the tip, the less the pressure because, right, less restriction.
Right.
Right. That's what actually causes or creates the pressure. The smaller the tip. Obviously, your pump is outputting so much.
Yeah.
Right. But if you open up that end, right, or even then it's not creating that pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so what are some things that you see when you walk up when you approach a building?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, like this got on here, like this is going to take forever to get off. What are the things that you see that are like this is the absolute worst?
When people want me to wash their home, windows and everything, I can do that.
Right.
You have the black mulch around your plants and everything right up to the house.
Right.
That creates something called artillery fungus. And
Okay.
there's these little black dots all over your house, windows, and I can't get that off with your regular house wash.
Okay.
Even with windows, I have to use fingernails or a credit card and scrape each one off. And I'm not going to include that in your regular price. If you want it, I can do it, but I'm
Right.
charging by the hour.
Yeah, and that's going to
Because
take
I
a
don't
while.
know, I'm not going to count every one and be like, you have 169 artillery fungus shells on your window. No, I'm going to wash your house, and then if they want that, hey, yes, it'll take me about this many hours, and you're going to pay however many hours it is.
Yeah.
But I will get everyone off. I
Yeah.
will make sure if you want a pristine
And,
home,
and so does that come exclusively from black mulch?
mulch in general.
Mulch in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not something that just comes off. You can't scrape it off with the brushes, hard brushes, and it could still even leave little dots. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, mulch, man.
Yeah.
So
it's
many
weird.
people use it. You need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's healthy for your for your gardens, and
I have my own opinions on it.
Yeah. I mean,
I
y'all,
mean, it's
y'all
good.
do what you want, man. I'm
Pine needles are really good too.
Pine needles are great, man.
Pine
Like-
needles are great, but if y'all ever get into, y'all ever heard about permaculture and that style, forget about pine needles and mulch, right? I have a friend and a couple friends that are all into it.
I don't know anything about it. I've never heard about it.
Really?
Nope.
Food forests?
Nope.
Never heard of. Okay, basically you can create an environmentally a forest. You have large trees that produce fruit. Then you have smaller bushes like berries, and then
Underneath
you
those.
have, and they're
Okay.
they regrow, right? Let's say green beans now. Green beans and beans create a lot of nitrogen in the soil.
Right.
Or in their leaves. So all you got to do after you pick the green beans or beans, you chop them down, let them, and that's your mulch. Now
okay.
the berries get all the nitrogen they need, and now your fruit trees, right? And it's all a symbiotic relationship.
Okay.
If I go to a house that has anything like that, I'm not using any chemicals. I have options for eco-friendly solutions, or just say, hey, I can charge you using just water and pressure. But again, you're going to pay for my time instead of the chemicals this time.
Right.
This whole concept of permaculture is really big with HOAs because there's a lot of people who are bucking up against growing lawns instead of in growing food and establishing permaculture in their lawn, because there's people that are saying, like, look, we're wasting all these chemicals in irrigation on grass that's not feeding any sort of agriculture. It's just there for appearances.
Right.
Instead, we could grow really beautiful lawns that grow food with trees and bushes and vines and all these kinds of things. But HOAs are pushing back on it because it's not as pretty as manicured grass.
Makes sense.
And people don't like it as much because, again, it's not as pretty as manicured grass.
You can make it look
look
beautiful.
gorgeous.
I mean, I'm going to give a shout out right now to someone in my group here. They're called the Kalos Project, and that is literally what they're trying to do. They're trying
really?
to push their whole the permaculture onto the woodlands. I mean, here we are in the woodlands.
Right.
What is better than having trees that produce fruit and create a symbiotic relationship?
Yeah,
Sure.
They're here tonight.
I don't think they are, but
Send me their info. We'd love to talk to them.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff, man.
Man,
I'll learn something.
Yeah.
I already
You've
have.
never even heard of it. When I
Exactly.
was in my early 20s, I had a friend in Austin. Austin. But he invited me to this permaculture blitz, and I was like, what do you mean? We can go camping and drinking all night? Sure. But they built these, they're called berms, and you know the word? basically they're ditches, but they create them in a way to where when the water can collect and then it drains into like a zigzag shape. But on the berms or the mounds, that's where they plant. So what it's doing when it rains, it's collecting that water, right? And soaking the soil.
Yeah, getting the roots.
But with permaculture, it's not just the food. It's full conservation of water. So when I was there, we moved this big old 1,000-gallon tank into position, and they had this pipe to where all the gutters, right, connected to a pipe, and they had a downspout, but it wasn't directly into the pipe.
Okay.
You have a cap, like it goes straight down with an L shape or a Y, and the cap collects all the particles, dust, and the water just filters into the tank.
Okay.
So, again, water conservation, using that now.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of HOAs that won't let you do that.
No, but is small 55-gallon tanks.
There's ways to hide it, though.
Barrels. I mean, you can put one of those barrels literally, and that's decoration now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cute.
But put 4 of them in your backyard now, and they just look cute everywhere around.
That's right.
And it collects water.
Dude, there's a famous TED Talk about this guy in Spain that created a permaculture environment for geese.
Really?
And his whole point in doing it is he wanted. Do you know about gavaging geese?
Yeah.
Like force feeding them so that you can make foie gras.
Yeah.
So like there's a famous foie gras competition in France every year.
Of course there is.
And every year it's been won by somebody in France. And so, but he created this just like, utopia for geese where they would land and eat, and there was so much food that they would actually signal to other geese flying by to like, hey, there's good food down here. And so that actually gavaged themselves. And he, without force feeding the geese, actually ended up winning the foie gras competition.
Oh my goodness!
By having geese voluntarily land on his property to eat all the food that he had laid out and grown for them.
Wow!
It's a famous TED Talk. You can look it up. It's really, really cool.
Interesting.
And people in France were not happy with him.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Well, the guy giving the talk didn't do it. He was the chef that was invited to come check out the whole what was going on there.
Okay.
So anyway. Cool. What I wanted to get back with you on the power washing stuff is, as you were talking about it, I was thinking in my head, I was like, we have so many like stucco homes here, and there's like just different exterior, materials that we use on the outside of homes. I would imagine some of them, like stucco, you'd almost have to use a soft wash.
Yeah, no, like I said, anything that's not concrete, I'm soft washing.
Yeah.
If I like,
there's like 0 concrete homes. I mean, well, I guess hardy plank would.
Nope, soft wash.
Wash on hardy plank. Okay, because it's technically concrete.
Technically, but imagine putting any kind of pressure on it.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, it's gonna crack.
You're soft washing. I will use a surface cleaner, right?
Right.
That I use on the driveway. I'll use it on a pool deck, but with that, I will actually physically dial down the pressure. I'd rather lose a $200 unloader that regulates my pressure than ruin somebody's pool deck.
Yeah.
So
all day long.
I don't usually change the pressure on my machine itself.
Okay. Just change the tips out like what you're talking about.
Change the tips out, which even then,
okay.
I have it set to a way that I don't have to, except for pool decks, right? I'll change one all day because the possibility or probability of it breaking is slim to none, but it's there.
Right. She's giving us the signal.
5 more minutes.
No.
Like
Hey, just tell everybody how to get a hold of you so they can get their house cleaned up, man.
Man, you can get a hold of me on, let's see. First of all, phone number is 1-877-754-WASH. For y'all youngsters, WASH means 9274.
Those of y'all that don't know how to do cursive, is that the
right? Yeah. Right.
You can look me up on Facebook, RC Pressure Washing Texas. I'm in Spring, Texas. And from bulldozers to buildings, man, we wash your grime away.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Good to see you again, bud.
Thank you. All right. See who's next.
We got somebody coming up.
Yeah. I don't know who.
I think Robert's coming over here.
Okay.
We're going to talk electricity.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Have we ever had an electrician on our podcast?
Well, I've talked to him before, but it's only been at these events. I don't think we've ever had him in the studio. So.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Hi, JoJo. Hi, Mom.
Who can you see her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now you can see her again. There she goes.
She's running behind.
That's funny.
Dude, so have you been keeping up with the trial at all?
No.
No?
No. Have you?
Well, I watched his statement after after they brought down the verdict this afternoon.
Okay.
Dude. I mean, he's up there standing like this is a sham. It's like this is all done by the Biden administration.
Wow.
This is all just to keep me from winning. Which, I mean, like, is... Okay, so it won't be... If he's in prison in November, it won't be the first time a presidential nominee is in prison during the election. It won't be the first time.
Okay, who is the other one?
It was like from the 1920s, and he was like a third-party candidate. Like, he's an insignificant person in history.
Yeah, this is not an insignificant person in history.
Until now,
right?
When like it could potentially happen again. The difference is like this guy, right now he's leading in every poll.
Oh yeah, by a lot.
Every poll
by a lot.
And like and so it's looking like he'll be like if everybody was to vote right now, at least according to the polls, the dude would probably be president.
Prisoner.
Yeah. So my question is like if that happens, can he pardon himself?
Oh, good question.
You know, I don't know.
That's a good question.
But like okay, let's say he can't.
Okay.
And he wins.
Uh-huh.
If he wins,
yes,
whoever his VP would probably take the office
for a while
and then pardon him.
And then either way, he's going to be in prison for a few months if he wins, and then he's out.
Yeah.
Here's my guess. Let's say he goes to prison. Well, he's going to prison.
Well,
let's say he's in prison in November. That's the biggest.
That's the big one. Well, the big one is if he's in prison in January.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. But
you get out in December, Mr. Trump.
I feel like presidential campaigns that I guarantee we're going to be seeing him in his jumpsuit on camera talking about stuff. This will be maybe the reason that he winds up getting elected alone.
Yeah,
because I think it'll be a thing.
Right.
It'll be a thing. Enough of a thing that people will be like, I don't know, like enthralled.
Yeah.
With the situation.
I don't understand it. Like if this is coming from the other side, I don't understand the strategy. I mean,
no, I don't either.
I mean, like
I think it just brings more attention to everything.
Yes. I mean, you create a martyr. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have a seat, man.
Dude, we're just sitting here, you know.
We're talking about Trump.
We're treading water talking politics here.
Yeah, please relieve us. Relieve us. All right. Can you hear okay?
All right. Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
You good?
How y'all doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right.
It's going to be better if you just put it right on top.
Yeah, it's a new hat. I don't want to crush it. Literally the first time I wore it.
I took my hat off.
Crush my hat. I'm being weird. All right, we're going to do it this way.
That's fine.
Whatever works.
Guys.
Whatever works.
Work.
So get up there right close to it so everybody can hear you. Because with the music in the background, it's...
Sure.
Yeah,
totally get that.
Dude, I bet you have been crazy busy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. We just kind of stale on the generator sector for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just seems like it's out of control right now.
Yeah, real quick, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Sorry, I'm Robert. I'm with RWB Electrical.
It's really cool because there was like lightning right behind you as you said that.
That's awesome.
Right. So, we're local here in Montgomery County. We take care of Montgomery. We take care of the whole Montgomery County area.
Okay.
So we do. So,
do you guys try and stay in Montgomery County, or
we go outside a little bit. It all depends on what's going on. If it's emergency, if we're really busy that day or not. We try to stay local as much as possible.
Sure.
Of course, we was in Baytown for 15 years. So we're like over there a lot, but we're trying to shut that down because this takes a lot of our time.
Yeah.
Drive an hour and a half there. It's like a half a day.
And that's like all commercial kind of stuff over there, wasn't it?
Well, we used to be all commercial.
Okay.
About 3 years ago, we went ahead and made a transition and changed our company to residential and commercial service.
Gotcha.
I used to do nothing but construction. I used to do new banks,
Okay.
ground up restaurants, and decided to get out of that. That's just did for 15 years. It wasn't a great experience. Always thought I could do it, and man, we could do it. It's just there's really no money in it.
Yeah.
So decided to get out of that and get into service. And there's a lot more better gratification on this side of it because you get to help customers and people who really need it versus some GC who could care less about you.
I just wants to yell at you.
Exactly.
No, I know.
Where you at? So,
why isn't it done?
That's exactly
Because you gave me 20 of them.
That's it. Yeah, we was running around like crazy back then. We are now, but not near the same level.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with. So.
Well, and so you mentioned generators. I know that's got to be something that's at the forefront of a lot of people's minds right now.
Oh, definitely. There's so many different kinds. I mean, everybody thinks they got to get the giant one, which I try to tell people, get the biggest one you can afford. There's a couple reasons for that. One is the efficiency of it. It's just like driving a car. If you floor the gas, if you floor it, like a small generator, start working really hard.
Right.
It's like flooring your car, and you just watch the gas seal drop. Versus, you got a big generator, it's handling a lighter load than the generator can handle. It's like sitting on cruise control and you're just barely sipping the fuel.
Right.
So it's a lot better. Plus, when it's not working as hard, 100 miles an hour, the motor lasts longer, everything lasts longer. The generator's not taking a beating.
Yeah.
So, and then also there's other options. People get portables. They want to do a little plug-in versus a whole home.
Right.
And that works too because that's a lot more efficient. I mean, those are about $950 versus
10 grand.
between 12 to
Yeah.
$14,000, $15,000. So. But,
well, on the ones that you guys like, what you're recommending, get the most that you can afford. I mean, are you liking more of the natural gas, the propane? I've even seen some that are diesel. I mean, those are the bigger ones, obviously.
Sure. Well, those prices skyrocket.
Diesels are expensive.
Yeah, diesel are expensive. Actually, when you get anything above 26 kW, which is air cooled, you start getting the liquid cool. After 26 kW, prices just crazy go up.
What makes that happen? Why does it go up so much?
More demand. If you got like a huge house, so like you got a 400 amp serve, a 600 amp serve, massive house, or multiple, you got a shop or a mother-in-law house on the side, or a swimming pool, and you just got a lot of stuff going on. You want more power to, be able to manage that for you. Of course, that's not very. 26. We haven't done one bigger than 26.
Really?
Yeah. So, and 26 is not that often. Usually 24 is pretty much the standard. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't understand. Like 18 kW is pretty small. Even I think it may make it 16. 18 to 24, you're only talking a few $100.
Right.
So it's like why save $600-800
when you can just jump up
to the jump up and get to 24? You got a little more power, and of course you get all the benefits out of it.
Well, like at 18, like what should I expect to be able to run in my house?
At 18 kW, well, you can run everything, especially if you got a gas house. If your house is gas,
you're talking about like furnace, stove,
right? All your big ticket items,
your
big ticket items,
water heater.
When I say that, I mean those are your big amp draw. Like heaters. If it's electric, whoa, they're massive. They pull a lot of amps. So if it's gas, that's great. Water heaters, dryers, your stove. A stove's another big one. If all that's gas, you can really get away with 18 kW, honestly. But like I said, it also gives you room for growth. If you want to put a pool in, or I'm going to put a shop in, I want that to power that up too.
Yeah.
So if you look a little further down the road, you can get something bigger, and it'll help you in the future as well.
You said something right there, and I got to ask, are there people genuinely concerned about running their pool when they lose power?
Well, if they lose power, yeah, because what really happens is these pools get stale and stagnant, and they'll start molding, and by the time they do get power back, it's a nightmare to get it back corrected.
Yeah.
So a lot of them want their pool running, even though the power's out. Not that they're going to be out there throwing a party, but it's mostly
it's just like the last thing in the back of my head is like my pool.
Right. Right, and no telling. I'm not a pool guy.
Right.
Plus, I'm sure the equipment's sitting, not running. that might cause an issue as well.
And it's not your question to ask why. It's just your job to power it.
That's correct.
That's right.
Oh, I got you. Whatever you need. So definitely. But those are really picking up. Literally, we quoted 3 of them today. And we got 2 more to do on Monday. And so,
are y'all typically putting in for the transfer switches? And then are y'all typically putting in a separate breaker box, or are you wiring it into the whole a shut-off system in the main panel.
We install automatic transfer switches. It all depends on your service, between 100 amps to 200 amps. And usually your transfer switches we use is 150 to 200. And they're automatic, so it senses.
Yeah, so it just happens.
It just happens automatically.
Yeah.
Now, some people, they want to get, especially if you get the portable.
Yeah.
Some people want the little manual transfer switch. I want these kind of breakers to only work when my generator's running.
Yeah.
And those become a little bit more complicated, but my honest opinion is we usually just backfeed the panel. Yeah, I mean, I tell a lot of people when we do portable generators, go ahead and fire it up, test your house while everything's 100%, kill your main, and just play with it. All right, which breakers I want to work? Is this operating properly? The generator's running just fine. Those are usually good for your portables. Sometimes customers want the AC to run with the portable. And so how big that portable is. The biggest problem is it's called LRA, which is lock rotor amperes, and that's the initial startup of an AC.
Need a soft start
to get that compressor kicking on. Exactly, soft start. Now, I'm not going to say it does it every time, but generally, if you put a soft start on the AC, your portable will fire it up.
Yeah,
And
that's what I've got at my house. We've
Right.
got a portable. We've got the Duramax 13,000.
Yep, those are good ones.
HTX.
Yep.
It's tri-fuel, and I've got it on the running off natural gas, which is only at the startup
downgrades,
powers.
Yeah, it's gasoline you get the most.
Get the most.
Then with the natural gas next,
Right.
and then propane is like bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Like
Yeah, and we don't, and plus you're not going to get very much runtime off propane, but yeah, the natural gas. So we've had it running for hours and hours and hours and hours.
sure.
And we can run our air conditioner and everything. We can run our whole house pretty much on that dude because it's huge.
Those little portables can
It's
actually
big.
be like a whole home generator,
Yep.
honestly.
And we went ahead and put the soft start on the AC. So, the only thing I made a mistake. And this is dumb. I decided to save money and go with the electric dryer, but we have gas right at the dryer, and I should have gone with the gas dryer.
Right.
That was dumb.
Now the gas dryers are more expensive.
They are,
are.
but
They save you a bunch of money in the long run.
yeah,
Sure,
they do,
definitely.
and that's something I should have done. But beyond that, we've got a natural gas, and so that makes it nice on the generator because I just hook that thing up to gas and I'm good.
Oh yeah, it'll
Good forever.
It'll run till it falls apart.
Yes, it will. It sure will. And that thing runs nice, man.
Yeah, and that's the great thing if you got natural gas, and you get the tri-fuels.
Yep.
That's able to do that.
Yep.
Because don't get me wrong, the gas is great, but man, if you're out of power, man, you got to have like 16 gas cans laying
I
around,
know. No, and
chasing
that's-
around everywhere, trying
That's
to keep
just
it
too
full.
much. Yeah,
it really
it's-
is.
So this is
It
really
is.
nice. Actually, they just came out with a 15,000. Have you seen it? The Duramax
Yes,
15,000.
actually, they came out. The one I just seen is 16,000.
But that's a dual fuel.
Oh, is it dual?
That's a dual.
Oh, okay.
So
now the
15
true
is
fuel. Yeah, the tri-fuel.
The tri-fuel is a 15. And I was like, oh man, that would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yep.
But I'm not about to go buy it because I got 13. Honestly, does fine. It does fine.
If it's doing what you need, I mean.
But my deal and this is where the rubber met the road for me, is we live on some property and we have a well, and without power, we don't have water.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And
Yeah,
so
you
we
got
have
the city.
So
around, yeah.
we don't have city water. So we have to have the well running, and so if we lose power, that's a big deal. So that's why we went ahead and did it, and I bought just the biggest dude I could find at the
Right.
time.
What I mean, like on these, because I mean, when you start looking at like 5 figures on some of these kinds of things, I mean, like not a lot of people keep that kind of cash on hand.
Sure.
Are they able to finance them? Or?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
We got a third-party finance company that we use, and they stretch them out as far as you want, as short as you want. They work. Now, that part that I really don't see because that's between
Sure,
the customer
yeah.
and the finance company. They give us the green light, hey, you're good, we're down or whatever. And it's only between the customer if they want to use that person or not.
Yeah.
But like most banks, I mean, they'll give you like a 5-year, whatever. These guys will stretch that thing out like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
To where your monthly rent's like next to nothing.
Wow.
Because it is a big thing to drop down all at one time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of rates they're getting on them right now, or is that something you're not able to see?
It's labeled in
29%.
29%.
Jeez.
Just use your Home Depot card.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like that. But I mean, I can't. I'm not 100% for sure. I want to say 10ish.
Okay.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've heard some of the customers say 10ish or 12ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. But
It's a sliding scale depending on how good that credit
there's
is.
tiers.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 or 4 tiers that
Yeah.
you're in
Okay.
with them. So it all depends which one you fall in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, we're getting the signal from Sarah. Let
sure.
everybody know how to get a hold of you and
Yeah, definitely.
where to find
once
you.
again, my name is Robert. Christy is my wife. She's the one that usually answers the phone. We're with RWB Electrical Services right here in Montgomery County. Our phone number is 832-307-7967. You can find us on Google.
Awesome,
All right.
man.
Awesome.
Dude, thanks for sitting down. Lots of good
Hey,
stuff.
definitely. I appreciate y'all's time.
Yes,
Thank y'all
sir.
very much. Have a great evening.
Dude, you too, bud. Good to see you again.
All right.
So,
Yeah, man.
that's on my list, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm so glad.
I mean,
that we
I
did
have a
ours.
generator.
Yeah, you
And
do.
I can run stuff that I need. I couldn't run my air conditioner or anything like that right now.
You have to
So-
have have to have that transfer switch. Yeah, you definitely have to have that transfer switch if you want to run your house. I mean,
Yeah.
and it wasn't too bad. I mean, we got it installed for a fairly good price, and we put ours on our entire breaker box. So it's got a manual override that turns on a 50 amp breaker. And that
Okay.
50 amp breaker then can run whatever it is you want.
I've seen the systems. They're awesome.
They are.
I mean,
They're great.
yeah.
Totally worth it.
So-
Totally worth it.
Dude, there's also there's a report that just came out. We'll probably be covering this on the next episode. Anyway, they've just said that like expect rates to hang out at 7% until after 2026.
Oh my gosh.
They came out and said like we're not changing it. And this is actually part of the reason that we know that that's probably going to happen is, and this is election stuff. That's one of the things that they're talking about is the guy that manages that. They can't replace him until May of 2026.
Oh,
That's when his term is up.
that's a long time from now. It's 2 years.
Yes, and so that's the earliest they could fire that guy.
Wow.
And replace him with somebody that might do something a little bit different to get some better terms for homeowners. But all the banks are saying right now, like, look, and that's what we're saying. And I actually think we have a real estate guy coming up, so we can talk about this. But that's what to expect if you have good credit.
I know, dude. I was telling you earlier about my vehicle. Like, I was looking to go buy a used vehicle, and like 6 to 7% was the best I could get, even through a credit union. Jeez, it's tough. Really tough. Yeah, we do have some weather.
Yeah,
coming in.
this may be our last one because it looks like the storm's going to be here in about 20 minutes.
Could be sooner. Could be in a minute.
Yeah.
Corey,
So-
what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude? We're doing the Rolling Thunder issue
Yes.
podcast tonight.
Yes, we are. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm rocking and rolling. How are you?
Good. Introduce yourself to everybody that has not met you before. You've been on our podcast before, but
I've been on the podcast 5, 6,
Okay.
4 times.
A
I don't
few.
know. A couple.
A few.
Anyway, Corey Reeves, Reeves Realty Group. We're out of Montgomery, husband and wife team, serving all of your real estate needs, covering greater Houston and anything in between.
all right, that was nice.
He was on our most controversial episode that
Yes,
you weren't
I
there
was.
for.
Which one was that?
It was Corey and Steve and JoJo and I.
Oh yeah, I heard. I listened to that episode.
You really did?
Yeah,
The whole thing?
I did. I was a glutton for punishment. I'll just tell you that.
We went off on about 15 million tangents, dude.
I was like, what is this about?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. I needed to wear a Teflon hat when I was done. So,
I was like, man, I guess I really am the glue that holds this whole thing together.
Well, there wasn't much to begin with, Kevin.
That's true.
no,
That's true.
not at
It
all.
was hanging by a thread, as it were.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, Corey, we were just talking. We were just talking about political stuff.
Oh, God.
And the reason was I was telling Kevin there was a report that just came out about how is it the SEC? Man, I can never remember the name of the orders. The ones that govern
The radio?
Huh?
Radio?
No, not the radio. The interest rates.
Oh,
I'm gonna get
I got nothing.
excoriated for this. I can never remember
The
stuff. when it-
FCC?
That could be it.
yeah, that's it.
Anyway, the guy over. All the banks are now saying like we should expect 7% to be the norm into 2026
Yeah.
and that's like for good credit.
Yeah.
on new purchases.
Is that what you're hearing as well, Corey?
I don't have a crystal ball.
That's the thing, is like
what
we
I
can't-
will not do is go speculate. All I can do is what I'm hearing. And it says, I can draw a line in the sand between half here and half there that say it's going to be in the 5s or it's going to stay in the 6s or it's going to go up. Literally, we don't have a roadmap. I wish I had a crystal ball. I'd be really rich right now if I did.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All we can do is navigate.
If your name was Biff.
Yeah, well, I'm going to relate it to
Need
real
that
estate.
almanac.
Relate it to real estate, right? Anytime is a good time to buy. Simply because real estate always increases. No matter what the interest rate does, it always increases in value.
Yep.
So whatever you paid for it, you're going to be earning equity on your home,
Yep.
right? Regardless of the interest rate. So when the interest rate does drop, you're going to earn even more equity because then you can sell it and people will pay more for it and you will recoup your money.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying it down, and it's probably going to increase in value.
It's always going to increase in value.
So you're at this point where you're creating a wider margin of equity all the time.
What I think is weird about this whole situation is real estate is so different from cars, right? Because if I go buy a car, like, you know, and I'm not comparing you to a car salesman whatsoever, but
I appreciate that.
but like, you know, if I go in to buy a car, I'm dealing with that one guy.
Sure.
And that guy, what is, you know what his question is every single time you talk to him?
What is your budget?
Well, no, it's not what your budget. It's what do you want?
What do you want your monthly payment to be? And you know why they do that, right?
Oh yeah, I know why.
Yeah.
But like
that way they can build in everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But like you can't do that in real estate because that's not even your area. You have to take them to a whole separate person to even get there. And so
which is good. It protects us, right?
It protects you.
And anybody starts talking about buying, the first question we ask them after we get to know them for a hot second is, are you pre-approved? And if they're not pre-approved, hey, we've got several lenders that we work with that we can refer you to, and you pick the one that best fits your personality and see what the programs are and pick the one and let us know which one that is, and then we can start shopping homes for you based on your budget.
Right. Yeah.
That's how we
get
handle
those numbers
that.
And
Well, because otherwise, we don't even, it's a shot in the dark.
Well, we don't go show homes to people that aren't qualified because we have no idea. They might be able to buy $1 million home or they might not be able to buy a $2,000 home.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, and because you don't, I mean, like that's private information.
Yeah, we don't get into those details until we start getting into the loan approval process with title and things of that nature. But we've already gathered a good relationship by that time.
And
so.
I actually don't know this. Are you guys even able to see that information?
We do.
Is that because they offer it to you, or
most of the time when we deal with the lenders, we've got a really close relationship with the lender. Like if we're working with the buyer, so we can help them over the pitfalls if they've got some issues, or we need to do some comps, or we need to ask for some sellers concessions or things of that nature. We can do those based on numbers, so the lender and us and the buyers work really close together.
Right.
So that way, if they are a little short, we can ask for different gauges. Maybe the sales price goes a little lower, or the appraisal didn't come in quite where it needed to. Will they drop the sales price? Or if we need seller's concessions, which means the seller would give back $2,000 or $3,000, we could use that to buy into the loan. Or we've even been known to give our commission, if it comes down to it. We've even given a percentage of our commission because we care that much and we've gone this far, that we will give a percentage of our commission. Not always, and everybody watching, this is not normal practice, but if it comes down to you getting into a new home, we will work with you and do the best we possibly can to get that done.
Isn't that something that they just changed the rules on about you guys being able to adjust your commissions?
No. So
what happened there?
So commissions have always been negotiable.
Okay.
Always.
Right.
Anybody that says industry standard, set standard, typical price, it's wrong, okay? It became an accepted practice at 6%.
Right.
And I say 6% because the seller typically paid 6%, 3 on each side, right? So if you're for sale by owner, you're not paying any. Or maybe you're paying a buyer's agent 3% or 2%. That's not governed. So if you hire me and you want me to sell your house and you say, Corey, I'm not paying you 3, I'll do it for 2. And I'll look at you and say, what level of service do you want? I've got a 1%, a 2%, and a 3% service.
Right.
This is what comes with our 3%. It's full bore. It's marketing, paid advertising, Facebook generation, reverse prospecting. I mean, direct mails. We spend a lot of money to get your home sold.
Right.
So all we're doing is asking for 3% to recoup some of our money because we still have to live too, right?
Right.
So people have a misconception of we shouldn't make any money for some reason, and I haven't wrapped my head around that.
Yeah.
Because the amount of work that we do for free is amazing.
Oh yeah.
We don't work. We don't get paid until we hit a table.
Well, and
then we hear close and fund it.
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy.
So commissions have always been negotiated.
Right.
And I will tell you, like, I'm say, Mr. Craig's selling his house. He gets Corey Reeves out there, Reeves Realty Group, and says, hey, So tell me, what can you do for me? You're interviewing 3 other people. Well, the other 2 people said I can charge, they're only going to charge me 5%. I'm like, okay. Are we going to cut ours or are we going to cut the buyers? Well, I don't want to cut yours. Well, why not? Okay, because that gets in my advertising dollars.
Right.
Well, it's true. It does. But I can do this for 2 and we can pay 3. But this is what you're going to get. Oh, well, let's cut the buyers. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the,
Keep going.
so here's the deal with the cutting the buyer side, right? Is the 4 houses that are listed around you that are all listed at 3%, you're going to be listing for 2%. So if you don't want to cut mine, you want to cut theirs, and I'm an agent and I'm out showing properties, and there's 3 houses around you that are offering 3% to the buyer's agent and you're offering 2%, what houses do you think he's going to go show?
Yeah, I'm not gonna even push your house.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So these are legitimate conversations that's coming up really hard, really fast. As of July, we're not allowed to put the commission in the MLS anymore that agents can see.
That's what I was. Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's going away. We just now have to make a phone call to that agent and say, are y'all paying a buyer's commission?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then you need to have a conversation with your buyer at that point and see if they want to make up the difference.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the buyers are trying to get a down payment.
Yeah.
They're trying to close on a home, which is costing them money, and now they've got to pay your commission.
No, thank you.
So
I'll find another house. That's
Yeah.
what it boils down to. I'll find another house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
100%.
see? You see where I'm going with this,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So commercial has always been this way, and commercial typically pays 4%, but it's never advertised. You have to call. So now we're going to have to call all the houses that they're interested in and ask if they're paying a buyer's commission.
Right.
And if they're not paying a buyer's commission, then you have that conversation with your buyer and go, hey, Mr. Buyer, they're not paying buyer's commission on this house.
Are you going to fork it over?
Do you still want to go see this property, or do you want to go see the other 3 that you like that are paying 3%?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, is that 1% really that worth it to you? Most of the time, it's not. Now, if you're on a $3 million home, that 1% may really matter. But
Actually, it's quite the opposite. If you're in a $3 million home, the percentages don't matter much at all.
You don't need it.
If you're looking at $350,000 homes, it matters a lot more on those than it does on the $3 million.
That's a good point.
Because if you got $3 million, then you got money and you're not worried about a percent.
Yeah.
That's true.
Two's still okay on a $3 million one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where the rubber hits the road and it gets really kind of nitty gritty is like your first time home buyers that are barely scrimping to get a down payment to get into a house, and even asking for down payment assistance on a DPA through their lending company. And we're even trying to shave points and do other things to get seller's concessions. And then all of a sudden we don't get paid for that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. A lot more work for a lot less money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
but
we've got.
but I don't think a lot of people realize that. I don't think a lot of people just don't look at it that way.
No.
But that's because when you're in a lower tier, a lower buyer's market.
Yes.
I mean, most people are having to scrape it together, like you're saying,
Correct.
to even make it happen.
Yep.
And so they're looking for every corner to cut that they can get.
And
I get it.
We pride ourselves on helping people that can't.
Yeah.
That are looking for rentals, and we turn them into buyers. But it takes work.
This was my whole beef with the whole situation, was like taking away the ability from real estate agents to negotiate their commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the best ways for guys that are just getting into the business to get a foothold is to be able to work for cheaper than the more experienced guy.
Right.
And don't take that away from them.
Right.
I mean, because they need some lever to compete.
Right.
So when all that stuff was coming out, it was just bugging me.
So you can do 1% listings, but you just do online, and you never have consultations, and all you do is put it on the MLS, and there's literally nothing else that comes with it. Maybe a sign.
Right.
Maybe.
And you take pictures with your cell phone.
Because those are the ones I don't
we
want to look
actually
at.
hire professional photographers to come out and make your house look good.
Yeah.
We'll even do video tours if you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we do drone footage on our acreage properties. That way you can get a whole view of all the points of the property. So
yeah. We're getting the stare.
The stare that we're fixing to get murdered, by murder, death, killed by tornado.
Yes.
And,
she's awesome. She's keeping us honest.
All right,
real quick, let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Cool. Corey Reeves, Reeves Realty Group, husband and wife team out of Montgomery, Texas. It's 281-932-2423. Again, 281-932-2423. Reeves Realty Group. Reeves, ReavesRG.com. And our tagline is relax your home.
Thank you, bud. Always good to talk to you.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Whew. I think we got one more.
Okay.
And then we're gonna. The storm is a brewing.
It is. I can see it.
I
can feel it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's coming.
Oh, here she is.
All right. Have a seat. Hello, hello. Put these on so you can hear yourself and hear us as well. All right. All right. And don't be afraid to get.
You got her in the shot there?
Yep, she's in.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let it pull that right up to your mouth right there. There you go. Let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Awesome. So my name is Sienna Nunez. I am an insurance broker for Goosehead Insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do everything property and casualty. So homeowners insurance, renters, landlord, tenant, auto insurance, watercraft, so, boat, motorcycle, ATV. Kind of covers, everything in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of had a big day the other day with the hail. Are you getting some hail calls?
No.
No?
Really?
Thank God, no.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
No, I did get one, something about, a roof. It was just one good thing. I was able to get him to our service department. We have a great service department that takes care of all that. So
Right.
we're more on the sales side, so we handle, starting them up with the policies. But anytime, we have a customer that needs help as far as a claim, questions updating their policy, changing effective dates. We have a great service department for that, and they call us and we get them immediately either schedule a call, service to call them, or we can immediately transfer them as well. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that.
And I imagine they're coming. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I just watching Facebook, I could just hear the roofers salivating.
Oh yeah.
At the
Oh
storm.
yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, and it was everything from marble up to golf ball size hail
Oh, dude.
yesterday, and it was.
Did you see the video I posted about it? Where it was hitting the skylight?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, like it was marble-sized hail, and it's a pop, 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 hitting my skylight.
wow.
So I
That's
did like a
scary.
30-second video, and it was like hearing like a gun go off.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Wow.
So, well, and with the storms that we're having, I mean, there's flooding. The flooding has been bad. So you got homeowners insurance that are probably being, looked at. And that's another thing. Let's talk about that for just a minute, since flooding is such a big deal.
I've had that too. Yeah.
Do y'all offer flood insurance on top of homeowners?
Yes, so that's something completely separate from our homeowners. A lot of
Right.
and it's crazy. Me getting into this insurance industry, a lot of people don't know this. They think that flood is included with the homeowners
Right.
insurance,
It is
and
not.
it's
Especially not
definitely
here.
it's not. It's not going to be. It hasn't been. So when they have rising waters, they're like, oh yeah, it's covered under my homeowners. It's like, no, that's water backup. That's completely different water damages within the home that's caused by that. That's you're protected under,
Right.
but not for flood.
So isn't flooding covered in renter's insurance though? Because it's only like the items within the home and not the home itself?
So it depends on what kind of renters you're talking about. Are we talking about landlord or tenant?
Tenant.
So tenant, that's going to be on the landlord side. So for tenant, a renter's tenant, that's going to cover personal property within the home. So it's not going to be, the home itself is going to be on the landlord to have
Right.
that renter's insurance as far as that goes, because if a flood comes, that's their property, that they own that property. So the renter, the tenant, I guess if we want to say it
Sure,
that way,
yeah.
I know we got to kind of specify it, right? But the tenant is going to have their renter's insurance as far as personal property. If they get broken into, a window's broken due to that's not the landlord's fault that somebody wants to break in and grab their belongings.
Right.
So if a window's broken, any type of breakage into the home, they're going to have to take care of that. The tenant is. But as far as flooding, that's on the landlord to have, because that's their property.
What about the contents of the house, like the furniture and all that? I thought that was covered by renter's insurance, covered flood damage to like your couch and your bed and your appliances.
For a tenant, yes,
Right. Okay.
yes. Okay, yeah. In that aspect, yes. So yeah, they're going to be covered for that in the event that something happens. They have that coverage there for their personal property.
I think that's where that assumption comes from.
Right.
Is because most people make the transition from being a renter to an owner, and when they were a renter, they had renter's insurance that covered flood damage to their property, just the appliances and all that kind of stuff. And so then they assume when they get a homeowner's policy, like, oh, flood insurance is included. because they never asked the question.
They didn't
Right.
know.
And they didn't listen to this podcast.
Right.
That's right.
right. They got to listen to the podcast.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of gray area. I did a lunch and learn the other day with Carswell Real Estate, and to know that so many realtors don't know how flood insurance works,
Right.
and what it actually covers. There's a lot of gray area, and that's kind of scary, because these are people selling homes, and that's not, it's not their job, that's our job, but it's important to have these lunch and learns so that when they're selling a home and they're selling it in a high risk flood zone,
Right.
they understand
It's gonna be high.
what flood is going to cover and what flood's not going to cover.
Right. Expect a different mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's like situations I've run across that I think are absolutely insane. Because when you buy a home, the person that you're buying it from is supposed to disclose things that have happened to the home. Well, everyone just assumes that everyone's honest.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And like I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to over the last 3 weeks that are in a house that flooded, and they said, well, the guy I bought it from said it's never flooded before. And like all of their neighbors are like, who told you that? The
Right.
house is flooded 5 times.
Right.
And there's ways of getting around that. I mean, like if you paid cash for the house, the next thing that you turn around and sell it, you don't have to disclose anything.
Right.
Because you don't know anything because you paid cash.
You pay cash.
And that happens all the time.
Yep.
And so, but also I've heard, like in River Plantation, and I'm sure this isn't what you guys are running, but like people were telling me, like we opted not to get flood insurance because it was going to be $750 a month. Oof. And I'm like, golly. I mean, like, did you shop it around? I mean,
Yeah. Well, but
Just
here's the thing.
one-stop shopper,
But here's
yeah.
the thing: $400 a month in a non-floodplain is how much it. I mean, $400 a year is how much it costs. $750 a month.
a month.
Now we're talking a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a lot.
$400 a year in a non-floodplain. That's okay.
That's like a
All right.
crazy, really expensive car.
That's a yes. You're talking
and it's like that's a payment that doesn't go away.
No.
Yeah, no, that's it's for as long as you live in that home and you want to be
Yeah.
protected. Yeah,
I mean, have you written any flood policies here lately?
I have. I have written some, and it's been a higher rate than what it was before the storm.
I would imagine.
Unfortunately, and some people think that, oh, there's a storm coming, let me sign up for flood insurance. Well, there's a wait period for that.
Yeah.
The only way that you can get flood insurance immediately is if it's a new home purchase, like you're closing on a home. That is the only way.
But you have 30 days on that too, or 60 days.
No, on it. So if it's a new home purchase, it's closed immediately with like the home policy and everything. So like
Okay.
you have the 2 different quotes for flood and homeowners that can close immediately. Just like you said, the effective day is
Sure.
tomorrow, and you're closing tomorrow.
But don't you get 60 days to do that?
I think what he's saying is you have 60 days after closing that you could add it on
right
immediately.
Correct.
Okay.
Because
Right.
we did that whenever. So we bought our house, first house that we had when we lived here, in July. Well, we closed on it the beginning of July, and then Harvey was coming in April.
Oh gosh.
2 days before Harvey hit, I got flood insurance, and with 12 hours it was active because I just didn't know. I didn't
geez.
know I just didn't know what was going to happen. And for $400 a year, I was willing to take the risk of buying flood insurance. And I was able, and he was like, yeah, you're within 60 days, so you can go ahead and do it immediately.
Right. I guess what I mean to say is, if somebody's been, it's not a new home purchase, and they've just been living there, and they see a storm coming, and they're like, let me get it real quick. 30 days is a wait period. So if the storm's in 2 weeks, they're out of luck if they get flooded.
Yeah.
And because some people, that's the way of the insurance trying to protect themselves. And,
Oh, yeah.
Claims coming up, and they're like now having to dish out all this money for people that just signed up 2 days ago, and now
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and when you say new home, are you saying like a new purchase or a new construction?
New purchase.
Oh, just new purchase.
Right, new purchase.
It can
It
be built in
isn't-
81 and it's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily new construction, just new purchase in general.
Yeah.
Helping the client out, and the client's going to know. It's going to be either told by the realtor, it's going to be told by the insurance agent. Hey, you're in a high risk flood zone.
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask a question, and I assume the answer, but I want to ask it. Are you getting better rates on new construction than you would older homes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you know why? Or I have guesses. I don't know for sure, but maybe you can tell us.
Right. Yeah. So new home builds are going to be way better on premiums because the roof is brand new. Everything inside the home is new.
Right.
So there's not any cracks. There's not an old roof. There's not any problems with the home yet. So you're gonna whenever we go through the quoting process, everything's listed as brand new, as 2024 per se. Let's say this year.
Right.
So the insurer is gonna love that. The insurance company is gonna love that because everything's brand new. But if you're gonna give me a home that was built in the 1960s, the roof is 24 years old. That premium,
different.
and then depending on the area that it's in, let's say if it's in Brazoria County, that premium is going to be anywhere from $3,500 up to $5,500 for the year. It really just depends. There's some carriers that will exclude wind and hail due to the wind claims in the area, so you have to get a second policy. I just did one like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to do 2 policies, a Texas windstorm and a Texas fair plan, because nobody else would take them, so Texas fair plan was like my last option, and I had to bind the wind and hail policy through a Texas windstorm because Texas fair plan excluded it. So
I've been hearing in the insurance underground. I don't know if you've been hearing any of this, but I've been hearing that about roofs in general. That's in the very, very near future. Just look for that to be either a separate policy from the homeowners or to just be off the table completely, because there's so many insurance companies that have just taken in the shorts of them having such lenient policies on roofs, generous policies on roofs, honestly, that they can't sustain them anymore. People are just taking advantage of the system, and these insurance companies are having to shell out now $12,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on roofs that are 20 years old.
Right. I haven't heard anything like that. I think the insurance has a good way of protecting themselves from that, and that way how they protect themselves is because if the roof, you're going to have agents that are going to manipulate the system because we have that access. We can do that, but that's whether we lose our license or not.
That's absolutely.
So it's like, are we going to really want to make this roof new, 2024, this 2010 roof new?
Yeah.
To lose our license, lose our job, basically? No. Some agents will do that just so they can get that premium.
Yeah.
And how the insurance protects themselves is, they have inspections. So that's what happens sometimes is, the agent will do that, and then 30 days later, when the policies, that's usually when they do the inspections, the insurance carriers, after the policy's been bound, they'll go out there and inspect, and okay, maybe they're not going to be able to see, that roof's a 2016 roof exact year. No, but they'll get a general estimate. They're going to know if a roof is a 2024 roof or if a roof is a 2015, 2011 roof. They're going to be able to see that difference, that amount, that extent of years. They're going to know that. And so that's when that inspection helps, and that's when you get upset homeowners when they kick back saying, we're going to cancel your policy if you don't replace your roof. And now they're dealing with this expensive replacement of roof due to their agent putting them in that situation.
Yeah. Well, listen, I could talk about this stuff all day. We have a bad storm brewing coming in right behind you. We need to get all this stuff taken down. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking. Give everybody your phone number, your contact information if they need it, if they need a policy, auto, home, whatever. Let them know how to get a hold of you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you guys for listening. This is Sienna Nunez. I work for Goosehead Insurance. If you ever need anything, you can reach me at 281-324-0451. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sienna.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, it's been good, man.
Yeah, it's been real good.
But it's time to be done.
I'm hitting the music because we got to tear this thing down.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. For everyone, appreciate you very much. Hope everyone has a good, safe night. It's been a lot of storms recently.
Yeah,
at least down here in Houston. Out there. Stay safe out there. And look, if you haven't already subscribed, liked all the channels, please go do that. That really helps us. Leave us a 5-star rating review. Until next time, y'all, we'll see you later.
See ya.